US, UK number 16. It's called Dumb. Dumb. It's loud in the loud.
I tell you what, I kind of like this. I feel like we could turn it into an episode, like Who is the Troll? Because it could be Eddie as well, couldn't it? Like, he's also motivated and committed and hates these people. He wasn't able to talk about Trisha on his episodes anymore, so maybe he went in for a different kind of attack.
It doesn't take a mathematician to add a simple sum. And you are simply beautiful. I am simply dumb.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum.
Dumb, dumb, dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Jackie Abbott.
I wonder if he took these videos down because of the nasty things he said, or if because of this.
The beautiful South. AstroTurf, now you fuck off.
It doesn't take Robert the Bruce.
Stop taking the
To
piss.
see the way abuse.
I'll come for you.
I mean, that's the nasty. I thought he just looked bad enough doing his dancing.
Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me?
Did he just say, I'll come for you?
Are you threatening me? The piss. I'll come for you.
I think he means it in the sort of online sense, though. Like, I'll come for you with videos and have a pop at you. I would love confirmation that Eddie's actually in New Zealand.
Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me?
I am simply dumb.
Dumb, dumb, dumb. AstroTurf.
And to make the joke as well, are you threatening me? But to not qualify it with, no, of course I'm not threatening you. I'm just meaning online, you know, to qualify it in that way because you don't want to be seen to be making a threat online because it's malicious communications. So you might say something that sounds a bit like a threat and then you might think to yourself, that's a bit over the line. To not qualify it.
You are dumb, dumb, dumb. Vicky Marie, you are dumb, dumb, dumb.
But you'd think if he was going to be driven to kill, he would have already done some murders. Like, you know, maybe he's on the run. Maybe that's why he lives in New Zealand and he deleted everything about himself. But, like, if he was going to return, like, he would already be eggy enough to have done that, wouldn't he? He's not going to be able to murder me. I would take him.
Loud in the lounge. Loud in the lounge. I'm sweating. I'm absolutely dripping wet. But I love it. I love it.
It doesn't take a Labrador. Beautiful.
Woohoo!
I am simply
Wow.
Wow!
You are simply beautiful. I am simply
Wow.
You are simply beautiful.
Woohoo! Just hard on life, I think. You get a view of the top of the head there. Like, you know, I feel it. The old hairline. I've got a parting, but soon it's going to become a divorce. I've currently got a parting, but you know, Eddie's gone beyond the parting. Now he's got divorce, and one side's taking the kids. But like, I'm not ripping him for being bold, but it's interesting that the way people sort of cover that and, you know, show certain angles to camera, and you then get another view and you think, oh, that's a bit different. He brought it up himself. He was rubbing his head and talking about it in the other video, wasn't he? So, like, because I know this as a human man, not as a man as well, as a human. Like, ladies have hair loss too, is that you feel conscious of it, you know it's there. Like, you're not unaware of that, are you? Like, you know it's there. And this front bit is just sort of there to sort of cover it, to make it look like you've got hair when you're looking at me front on in the camera. But on a day-to-day basis, walking round, that doesn't really cut it, does it? Like, as a hairdresser here, as a barber, like, you know, as a serious conversation here, I would say you are in the realm of comb over here. You could probably go with comb over, or you could go with toupee, or you probably, my other suggestion would be to just cut this a bit shorter up here, lose this bit at the front, accept it, like almost connect the baldness and sort of accept it and just go with it, you know, and maybe cut this a bit shorter here. But this looks like it might be stuck on here and come down here, like this piece of hair here. See how this side bit is darker, and it's like, I'm talking about colour as well, but this front bit is also this lighter colour. But we've got like a lighter colour, like a more chestnut colour on the top here. More thin, fine hair from the top. And then you've got this darker side bit, which hasn't gone falling out. Gents' hair stays more in the sides, and it's darker black with grey in it, isn't it? It's like differential between the two kinds of hair. This bit on the top, and then this bit down the back and the side. Like, this could be hair implants that have now, I don't know, it's probably not actually, but I'm surprised that he's not just taken a parting from here, like most gents do, and just sort of pushed it this way and combed it over. Or maybe he has done the comb over and it's fallen back today and revealed this part. A toupee, could be a toupee, yeah, that's slipped. Or like a layered bit of toupee, like you know how nowadays you have hair extensions and they come in lines like that. I'm not an expert on wigs, and I would probably assess a wig to be, you know, cover a whole area all at once. But there's so many different options you can do these days. Why am I focused on Eddie's bowl patch? You know, I'm not highlighting it to have a pop at him for losing his hair. Most of us are gonna at some point lose some of our hair in different ways. But I am thinking, like, it's a dramatic... Hair is a way that you can dramatically change your appearance. And it serves here to change his appearance in different ways. I still want to know. We've only got one picture of Eddie from way back in the day that we got through a way back resource, which I need to look into a bit more myself and just see the original publishing. But I think it's credible. But, like, some plastic surgery around the eyes, a bit of lip filler, a bit of this, a bit of that, like changing things on your face, yeah? Changing things on your face is relatively simple, isn't it, to suddenly look quite different. And I wonder if someone who knew him from back in the day would recognise this man. You know, that's something I just wonder. Alright, you.
Wow!
Wow!
Beautiful.
Wow!
This is a weird... I mean, maybe it's cocaine. It's a weird kind of drug. Like, a lot of you are joking in chat, I guess, but big up Smartin in chat. Imagine ending up on late night party with this charmer. He starts his dances, yeah. Like, I wonder if, it's almost like high on life in a way, but listening to your songs loud makes you feel this in some ways. You know, I get that. And he's high on the... like, essentially, he's on his own in a room talking to a camera, and he's prepared the things he's going to say. So, or maybe he hasn't prepared them. Maybe some of these are just coming out. But this could be after a few drinks. Let's turn the camera on. Let's get this going. But because, you know, in my mind, he's prepared it. He's prepared the songs. He's prepared who he's going to talk about. And it's a read to a camera. He could stop it. He could start it. He does it in one long take. He doesn't do a lot of edits. But I feel like it's a read to camera that's prepared. Are you, like, high on the... Like, is he high on the saying the things? You know, doing it? Like, the excitement of saying it? Whether it goes up online or not, he's thinking it is. Like, is he, you know, I just said this mean thing to you. Ha, I'm high. You know, on there's no direct response. But the concept that there would be, you know... this is going to sound weird, but I don't know if you've ever, shouted anything obscene in a room on your own before. Or like, a good example of this would be the N-word. You're not to say the N-word, it's racist. And I have never said the N-word in public, but of course privately once I've said it. And I'm laughing about it now. There's like a sense of excitement or like a secret thrill, isn't there? I said the N-word. Obviously I'm not racist, I'm not going to say it, but I've never said it, and that makes it a prohibited thing. And so therefore to say it quietly in public, like, in private, like, to voice things that are illicit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes like, you know, maybe he's enjoying the experience of having just done a lot of nasty things and said a lot of, like, letting it all out, getting it out, and now he's feeling exhilarated by it because it's a rant, a song, a rant, a song. So, you know, maybe there's some sort of catharsis to him here, and it's like, again, I think it ties up with his own feelings about, because he's got problems with women. Let's say it straight. He's got problems with women, yeah. So like, he's had problems with women, and he'd like to give them a good old shouting out, wouldn't he? And you know, once he has done, he feels released and woo. You know, like, I don't know if it's drugs or if it's personality, but yeah, and it's in the daytime, I feel. I don't know if it's the nighttime. I think he's doing this in the daytime. Like, you see the light on the edge of the, you can't really see it well in the frame here because I've got it zoomed in, but you know, you see it, the light on the edge by the curtains. I mean, maybe he's got lights on and it's just the light, but it might just be the light. Maybe, I don't know what time he's recording this. If it's the evening, he might well have had a few beers, you know, maybe even a couple of lines, but you can't be, ecstasy's not an option because you wouldn't say all these nasty things. And going on about me being lonely, you know, having family in the house, that's not an option because like, he's not in the studio room, he's in the lounge. Like, who's going to want to watch Neighbours or EastEnders while Eddie's doing this? You know, the neighbours would be banging on the walls. What's going on?
We're beautiful.
Wow! You can watch.
And he's shouting that at the top of his voice. You know, he's turned that right up. So again, Neighbours close by, because I wouldn't necessarily turn up that song or any song necessarily and be. I mean, sometimes in the summer I do turn up the songs and have a little sing song, but I do consider my neighbours. When I was younger, we used to slam the decks. So actually, yeah, I play music quite loud up in the attic sometimes, but like right now, or you know, in general terms, I'm not going to be putting on big songs and yelling, am I?
This on my channel. I will be putting the description down below on this.
Sort of agree, Ed. Sort of agree that Eddie might show wear and tear for that, but on the other hand, I don't know. I feel like I get the sense that Eddie's had some sort of cosmetic surgery, so I don't really like know if that 50-50 on that. I think, and I'm not sure about how old, like, you know, because he's given us a categoric statement on it now, but like there was some confusion about exactly how old he was, wasn't there? But
all songs, just click on the link and watch them in their glorified stereo. This song, when it was released, I loved it. I can't believe it's 26.
Is it Whiskey with Eddie? Did he mention Whiskey ever before? What's up, Leslie Patz? You all right? If it's Whiskey, it's interesting. There's a connection between Whiskey and Peter Folding, and there's a connection between Whiskey and Paula Mann as well, who was drinking whiskey on one of their videos, I think. Or was it Paula Mann, or was it one of Brian Harvey's trolls who might or might not be Paula Mann, who was like a voice talking into a camera? They were drinking watered down whiskey as well, and it alerted my attention because I don't see many people drinking watered down whiskey, and I think it might be a forces thing or a police thing or something. You know, I think it might be a culture thing.
Years old, can't believe it.
The sun, the sky, the moon, the stars, Jupiter, Neptune, and Mars. All these things I clearly see. It don't take a telescope for you to love me.
I reckon body language is something here.
Take a telescope for you to love me.
That face. Like, I know you get these feelings from your favourite songs, yeah? Like, if I put on certain drum and bass tracks, I'll be like, like, give me the face, yeah, I love that, tasty. he combines it with an almost condescension sneer as well. This sneer of condescension. But it's a gurn of happiness. Like, not happiness, but self-satisfaction. Satisfaction. Lovely stuff. And like I say, for me, it would be certain tracks and music that make me feel empowered, I suppose. Funny using that word because of earlier. But, you know, empowered, strong, powerful. And there's a sense in some of the music that I love from drum and bass when the bass drops and stuff like, so is it what this man's saying in the song?
Jupiter, Neptune, and Mars. All these things I clearly see. It don't take a telescope for you to love.
Because the song's a bit of a love song, and it's not like the song's not that sort of song. Dum dum dum, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, he thinks he's clever, but it's the song's a bit of a it's an ease out. It's not a it's not a football anthem, is it? It's not, not going to chant this at the football.
Jackie Abbott, sing it, girl.
And this is not, like, they're good, the Beautiful South, they're good, but this is not that. Like, they're not wailing, are they? They're not giving it some. But Eddie looks like he's, yeah. And like people were saying in chat, he's picked the wrong song. Like, if you want to, it depends what your vibe is, but if you wanted that out of the Beautiful South, you can get songs that are a bit more that, have a bit more punch. But this isn't the song with the punch. But he's really feeling that. I should think of more songs. His eyes look fucking gone here. Like, you're saying about drugs question, like, his eyes look fucking gone. We had some good suggestions in chat the other day. Creep by Radiohead, that's a good one. Like, the dilation on the pupils here. And that's not Alan's green screen. Eddie's not got any effects going here, I don't think. Unless he has, but like the dilation on those pupils, it might be the excitement again, it might be the elation of what you just, the brain gush that he just had, but those eyes are dilated. He's had his eyes closed and he's been doing the brain gush, so it could be that. Opening them up, sorry, closed would make them pinpoint, isn't it, because it's dark. No, wait, closed is making them dark because it wide open is when it's dark. He's got a bright light shining in his face, so that should make them go pinpoint. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, the light, the big light, you can see it reflected in the telly off there. So it's lighting him from the side, really, not directly in his face, but it might be more over by the camera. Like, so it's more where I'm over, I don't know. It could be something to do with the light, the fact he's closed and opened his eyes, but I just... Like, they do look gone. And he's doing the singing, right? And he's not, like, we all do this. We like a bit of a sing. He's not a good singer. Woo! And this, you see, I don't... No, he looks fucking manic. I don't get the like, maybe it's because I'm into like a slightly harder style of entertainment in terms of rock music and drum and bass and stuff, but like when I'm pulling that face, like, oh, that's fucking slamming. Like, it is slamming. And what's happening here is not slamming. Like, you look stupid doing that face to that.
Every last drop. Dum dum dum. You know you are. You know you are.
It's the anger, isn't it? It's not the song at all. It's, I'm calling you stupid. Because he's carrying it on now. You know you are. You know you are. It's not, I'm happy because I'm enjoying a lovely song. It's, I'm ebruant because I'm boiling on hate. Like, he's made high by the hate, isn't it? I mean, that's a real worry when we're talking about people who are trolling and stuff and this and that. He knows I like this song, right? So that's even worse, isn't it? He's tried to find something that hurts you more. Or spoil something. He said there was a song that... Eddie said that there's a song that he liked that was the one... He did the song for me. I can't even remember what it was. It was an Annie Lennox song that was awful. And he said, every time I listen to this now, though, I'm going to think of Scott, and that's going to spoil it a bit. But here's the song. So maybe he's tried to do that for you. You know, try to, on another layer, be even more nasty. Now, I'm starting to see this more now, and I'm starting to think, like, you know, Alan's a danger, a worry, a nutter, but he's also quite a sad, simple, selfish man who, once the computer is off, probably thinks about having a drink, having a wank. You know, he probably thinks less about spreading his evil out into the world than I don't want to say credit him with, because credit's not the right word, but, you know, Alan does bad things, don't get me wrong, but they're in his own personal interest a lot of the time. Like, it's so he can get something. Just lashing out because he's angry happens when he's in an arc rage, but it's not like Alan, as much as I think he's sadistic in that he takes pleasure from other people's pain. Like, if Alan saw somebody rolling, like if Alan saw someone rolling around on the side of the road, like, my leg, he might come over and give the leg a poke and, like, you know, get a little bit of a thrill out of it before he started doing any helping. But he might help later, you know, might do some helping, but you get a little thrill out of the whole, like, somebody else suffering. Whereas, like, I think Eddie, like, might twist the leg right off and then bash your head in with it. Like, Eddie's a deeper layer of, like, nasty. Eddie's got this this horrible streak of, in the same way as I apply myself to trying to, like with the Nicola Buddy stuff, you know, to try and think in layers, to try and think through it and learn and understand and, like, come to a truth, or in the same way as I think deeply about how to create content and our personal relationships or interpersonal or psychosocial or parasocial, whatever you call them, relationships that we're doing. Like, you know, I think about these things. Like, Eddie's thinking about how to be nasty. Either he's thinking about it or he has it as an instinctive. And it's the same with Alan, because Alan said that he'd learned ideas from, like, the MI5 or something about how to be nasty to someone and shut them down on the internet. And the first thing you do is you say they're a pedo, and then the next thing you do is you come after this. And I was like, you're supposed to listen to things like that. And, like, when you hear them, you're supposed to say, oh, this is what the bad people do. I'll learn to guard myself against it. Like brainwashing techniques. Like, if you can learn hypnotism and brainwashing, then you can either use it so that you can help people relax. But there's ethics. You don't do it online to try and grift money. Like, Alan uses manipulation techniques that he's learned. He's like, oh, that's an interesting technique. Like gaslighting. Alan would say, gaslighting? Oh, I didn't know it was called that. Oh, that's interesting. I'm really good at that. I'm going to do more. Oh, is that how you do it? That's a good tip. I'm going to use that for more gaslighting. Whereas most of us would say, gaslighting? Oh, is it? Oh, I've learned about that now. I'll know how to spot it in the future. I don't like that. You know, there's like this other thing. So Eddie seems to either have learned how to be horrible or have a natural talent at having a multi-layered approach to being horrible. And it's not, like I'm saying, it's not just horrible, is it? I'm learning more now. I'm glad we watched this again, because obviously I watched this the first time round and sort of, you know, we chatted about it on stream afterwards and he's deleted it since. But actually picking it apart like this psychologically, bit by bit, like, he is a complex layer of evil. Is that a right word for it? I don't know what the right word is for being spiteful or sinister. No, I think he's more like, again, the Cluedo game of who's doing the trolling, you know, the community trolling at the moment, the somebody was in Trish's thing, being particularly weird. Eddie's, rising up the leaderboard of who's fucking weird and nasty and motivated in that way. Because bear in mind, he did an hour and a half of this, didn't he, as well? So that was pretty motivated. Oh, Scott does 8-hour lives, slagging people off. No, I do 8-hour lives like I'm doing now, talking. But Eddie did an hour and a half of this. It was like an evening's entertainment for him in a way. I mean, it must be, mustn't it? I mean, also, I know for myself, right, because I don't want to talk about me all the time, but when you play, or when you play your records loud, when you have your big sing-song, at the end of it, you have to switch off the music at some point, and there's like a quiet moment where, like, God, that was loud, wasn't it? And like, an energy has been expended, and you feel like, oh. At the end of playing decks for a long time, I can sort of feel phased out, like zoned out, like yeah, I can. Hang on. Hey, now you're not going out there because you're being messing. We're not having messing tonight. He's starting to get to the point where he's just getting told off about messing because you don't want to go out to the toilet. He wants to go out there and messing. You had to Google Cheddy. What's Cheddy? Is there a meaning for it? Because I wanted to say Eddie, but I didn't want to be Eddie, so I said Cheddy. Like cheddar. A person who typically aren't the sharpest tool in the shed. Oh, look. Well, that's all right then. That's good. I'm glad. I'll pretend it was that. There have been trolls commenting, then take them down. Do you think he thinks, sits home and drinks and then decides this is a good time to go live? I think he plans it. I think he said, right, they've said this and this and this. I've got my A4 piece of paper with all the people I'm going to have a go at. Like, he doesn't do the songs on the random. Like, he has to think about it. Like, so I think he plans it, and he's like, this is going to be a recording hour. I've got 3 hours now. Like, I don't think he has anything else to do in his life. I don't think he's a busy person. I don't think he's like, hard at work on his day job. Like, I get the impression that he's gone out to New Zealand, lived his life, had his children, they've grown up, bought their houses, he's retired, and he's sitting with his feet up, listening to old records and going on the internet being weird. But I also think, Martin, there's a deeper layer to it, because with the Nicola Bulley case, he was very defensive over Ernie Bulley, and he was very careful to craft a narrative that pointed in a certain direction. And at some point, he basically claimed to have had insider knowledge with the family, and then he turned and said he never did that, and he never said that, and he never has. And everyone in the chat knows that he has alluded to being close to certain people or having certain... Believe me when I say those kids definitely got to the school. You would know that if you'd spoken to the family, stuff like that. And I proved him to be a liar talking about his own Mixcloud account. So he's got some sort of deeper weird stuff going on. Or he's just a nutter that wants us to think that he's got closer attachments. But yeah, so I think I agree with you. Like, I do think he thinks this is a good time to go live, and I think he felt empowered and confident, and this is a good thing. I think he does still think that, and it's only other people that have told him to remove it. So he's bowed to their pressure, but he still thinks he's right. And I think he plans it. I think he, in response to or because of whatever's been said in other places, he's got his list. He couldn't attack Trisha in this one. Trisha was off the list now. Vicky Marie got a mention, but she's not. This particular episode was all about me, but and other, obviously not all about me, but and other people. But the previous episodes had been more heavily focused on Vicky Marie or Trisha, or over the time that he's been uploading his videos with @you and @this person and @that person. He's the one that stirred all the trouble by @ing people in videos where he hated on them. Even to the point where he suggested people go and watch Luke because Super Chuffer was way off now and Super Chuffer's off the boil. And to me, it all felt like political movements to try and push the narrative of the Nicola Bulley case in a certain direction. And it's strange if you've got no connection whatsoever. But the connection he does have is trucking, live animal export, because New Zealand has that connection, not because Eddie does. Trucking because he brings it up a lot and talks about it with fondness. And the local area that he used to live in, where he was on his local radio station when he was younger, if that's correct. is exactly the same area that Ernie Bully was running his haulage, was a director of a haulage company. And the whole problem that, my Nicola Bully Solved episode covers all those connections. So it's possible that he's, got an iron in the fire somewhere. The reason he left the UK and went to live in New Zealand, he said because he met someone, a lady, they got married, she's from New Zealand, so he went to live there. The end. But I still, question whether leaving everything that you know behind and just starting up from scratch in New Zealand with no plan whatsoever, would be the way you would do that if you just did that. But yeah. He's a weird one. He's either properly involved, doing some weird shit, not involved at all, therefore it's even more weird that he would do the weird shit that he's done, or somewhere in the middle, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Things like that, the dog tag stuff. And remember this, right, Martin? He fed that information to Alan. We had this whole problem because Alan stole Eddy's content. But what Alan did was, Alan published the picture of the dog tag. Eddy did a video saying all about this dog tag, all about the dog tag, and if you knew this and if you knew that and the dog tag and ideas. And we were like, ooh, interesting video. Alan come along 2 days later and did the same video. He stole on Eddy's content. And Eddy said, I sent Alan that picture. Eddy said it, I remember. He said, I sent Alan that picture on the proviso he couldn't publish it. Don't publish it. You can know the information and we're allies and we're trying to solve the case, but do not publish it. And then Alan published it and did the whole episode. Eddy got cross. Alan, I told you that in confidence. I told you not to publish it. I'm deleting my channel. So the process there served this end. Later on, Alan is the one that's promoting the dog tag thing. Alan's got 80,000 subscribers. Alan's a big YouTuber talking about true crime, whatever. Whatever though. Eddy's fed him information behind the scenes and Eddy's gone away. That information is now out there, colouring the narrative, pushing an agenda. Eddy's gone away. Alan is responsible. He turned it into a big kerfuffle, and Eddy, but ultimately behind the scenes, Eddy fed information to a YouTuber and then took a back seat and allowed the other YouTuber to be responsible for the information being on the internet. So has he done that with anyone else? He's got this technical capability to do these things in widescreen. Did he fuck about with the CCTV and send it to Jizzy? What's he up to? And why is he doing that behind the scenes with Alan? It was a sneaky move, and by disappearing his channel afterwards, there's no evidence of it, but if Alan hadn't got deleted off YouTube, it would still be up there, wouldn't it? Dog tag story, Alan's story. So Eddy fed the information to Alan. Alan pretended that he was, I didn't know, and all this business, but Eddy knew he was going to, you can't give Alan information and not expect him to put it on straight on an episode. So, so that was all. At the time, I thought Eddy's a good content creator. Alan's stolen his content. I was on that tip, wasn't I? I was obviously on that tip because he stole mine. He plagiarised me. He was plagiarising other people. But Eddy knew it and he fed him information. I didn't think about it at the time. But now I think, why did you even give him that fucking picture, Eddy?